Okay, guys, welcome back to Orlando Out of Context. This is episode 32. I'm Brian.
I'm Stephanie.
So this episode, I'm gonna let Stephanie do the teaser for what we're gonna talk about in this episode.
Oh, so we're gonna talk about A La Carte, Orlando's newest little food truck outdoor gathering spot.
There's another new one that I want to talk about too after you talk about A La Carte, which we haven't personally talked about together.
Okay. So. And then something I'm super excited about, a Halloween themed bar is coming to Orlando. And then we have the Hyatt,
So the next thing I'll talk about the Hyatt Regency Orlando, I stayed there over my birthday. So I'll talk about a little bit about that, plus their Italian restaurant where I had dinner at. It's Fiorenzo's.
Fiorenzo's.
And then we're going to talk about something interesting that I didn't... Some of this, like, Steph prepared this list and I prepared this list, and we haven't talked about this list together yet. So that's why we try to prepare things and then talk about the fresh for you guys, so that it's not like we are not already bored of it. So I was in Miami on Monday and Tuesday, and we're going to talk about gratuity at restaurants in Miami, because I have an interesting little tidbit that you might be interested in, because this might be coming to the rest of Florida and the United States.
Great. Unless it's eliminating tipping, I could care less.
And then we're going to talk about Epcot's new kind of expansion. We had some tidbits released in the last week or two that make me happy. And then finally, I took over
We got the Garden Theatre. We're going to talk about the next show that we're going to see, the dates that it's running. I'll give you all the info, so you guys can go get tickets if you're interested.
Yeah, and we're going to kind of give our impression of the show, which we saw on March 1st.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show. So let's start off with talking about food trucks.
So there's a new place called A La Carte, and we actually haven't been here yet, but I saw something on their Instagram today that grabbed my attention immediately. So this place is like... They have a big building, and it's got indoor seating that's covered, and then it has like an outdoor patio portion.
So it's exposed to
and
the
like
elements.
A lawn area. Yeah. So you can have either or, indoor covered seating or outdoor. Okay. And then they have, in that building, they have 15 rotating local craft beers on tap at all times.
Okay.
And then they have, like around the lawn area, they have areas where rotating food trucks come. So it's not always going to be the same experience. Because sometimes, different people are there. You check the schedule online. And then every Monday they have a movie, outdoors. Okay. So this Monday they're showing Mean Girls.
Nice.
Which is, it's kind of a
classic.
A classic,
it's a classic, I think. Now.
And then Orlando, they are making...
Bedonut people.
They're making Mean Girl themed donuts.
Ooh.
So actually, that's the post that I saw. And then I read the caption, and then it took me to A La Carte's page. Even though I've been looking at A La Carte, I just haven't it just opened not too long ago. So
cool.
So those donuts lured me in.
Yeah, Stephanie's been wanting to try Orlando.
Gosh, I'm going to have to... Listen, Orlando, if I don't get a hold of you sometime soon, I'm going to have to unfollow you, because I can't stand looking at your delicious donuts. Like, I need to have one. They do look good. There are all these, crazy flavors. And not crazy flavors like peanut butter and Oreos bullshit. Like...
Right.
Lavender, honey, like weird combinations that look really good.
They seem like more handcrafted. They don't have a storefront.
Which is a very smart business model,
I think,
because it always makes people wanting you.
Yeah, and then you can get.
You need
deals.
To be not so attainable,
Right, and then you don't have to pay the rent,
that
except
too.
on your kitchen if you have a kitchen.
And then here at a la carte, they also have trivia on Tuesdays. So, you can go to their website, check out the...
Did you know where it is exactly? It's in Orlando somewhere?
I don't know.
Towards downtown?
I didn't look.
All right, so just go look a la carte, and we'll, on our Instagram, I'm sure, repost something from them.
But, it's kind of a cool place.
Is it an everyday thing?
Yeah, it's open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner.
Cool. So the other one that I wanted to mention was Boxy Park, which is in Lake Nona, and it is relatively new as well. And it's, I believe, a similar concept. And I think that they use like containers, the big, huge metal shipping containers. Mm-hmm. Somehow they use that in the design. So check that out. I
haven't heard about it.
We'll have to report back on that. But I just wanted to mention that because you were mentioning the a la carte, but Boxy Park has opened in Lake Nona.
Okay.
Speaking about Lake Nona, did you hear this? I think it was this week they were talking about, I saw a few news stories that they have like auto-driven buses that are driving around Lake Nona, like that don't have a driver, that they're autonomous driving.
For what purpose?
To take people around, I guess, Lake Nona.
Oh, no.
I haven't really explored Lake Nona that much.
I haven't either because it's like so far in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's just not
not the
path.
wrong direction, but it's just like nothing there that we need.
It's not in our path.
So,
but we need to go
spend
some time over there because I think there's some cool things happening.
Yeah, and they have a Top Golf ripoff over there too. They have I think it's called Drive Shack or Drive Time or something like that. So probably it's an up and coming area.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it out. Or explore a little bit more over there. But yeah, they have Boxy Park, which is kind of seems like this similar concept as a la carte. So tell us about what you found out about Cocktail and Screams.
So Cocktail and Screams is a new... so Orlando kind of has actually a lot of these kind of bars now. That it started off with Frosty's, which is a Christmas themed bar that opened a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And then now we have Joysticks, and the same folks that opened up Joysticks are now opening up Cocktails and Screams, which is on 39th West Pine Street, just across from the 55th West Building.
So
I'm not sure what side it's on. I'm wondering if it's on the side where, like the Graffiti Junction used to be, like, and there used to be like a pizza place. Is
Graffiti Junction not there anymore?
I don't think it's there anymore. I'm wondering if it's there or on the other side of 55th and West. I'm not sure. But they're not open yet. If you go to their website, it's kind of like, it's a cool website. They have like little bars where they're kind of keeping you up to date with the progress as far as they don't have any opening date set, but they're updating it.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. They even have some of the cocktail craft drinks that they're going to be having.
Nice.
They have like Witch's Brew and like cool themed drinks. So they have some of that up.
We're definitely going to have to go. I'm definitely interested in
I'm excited about it.
Hopefully they do a really good job. Now, so tell me about Joysticks again, because I know I've heard about it.
I haven't been to Joysticks either, but it's like a 90s themed bar. So they have like...
to Joysticks to me says like there's going to be video games there.
Some of the pictures that I've seen on Instagram, so they have kind of like areas that are themed. So people are posing on chairs and stuff. Like they have a Barbie area, or they have like a Barbie decoration with a pink glittery chair.
We just need to go.
They have
during Grandma and Grandpa hour, like at 9 o'clock when I'm sure they open like at 9 o'clock.
When it first opens, so we can get some pictures and get the hell
leave.
out.
Have a drink and leave.
Before all those teens get in there going
those
crazy.
Whippersnappers.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. But I also like Sideshow, the carnival themed bar.
I like that one too. We've been to that one.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for a theme. I love everything
it's done well.
with a theme.
Yeah. No, Sideshow is really good, I think.
But, right now there's minimal information as far as their opening date goes.
Right.
And so on and so forth. But just keep an eye on that because it's going to be cool.
That is awesome. So for my birthday, I was at the Hyatt Regency. The Hyatt Regency used to be the Peabody. Do you remember when it used to be the Peabody?
I do.
And supposedly they used to have ducks.
Yes.
I never saw the ducks. Did you see the ducks?
I never saw them in person, but I've seen it online.
So,
because I think it's a tradition that they do at all Peabodys,
right? Which I don't think Peabodys exists
anymore.
anymore. Anyway, so I was there, and I think when it was Peabody, they built that new tower because there's 2 towers, and then eventually they switched over to Hyatt.
Is this the place you used to have the gym membership?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's probably the tallest. It is the tallest skyscraper, quote unquote,
recognizable building,
recognizable on iDrive. So stayed there. We had a corner room of the Tower 2, which is a newer tower, with panoramic views of Orlando, so we could see from Disney all the way to downtown, because the way that we were on the corner, we had like 2 sets of windows at the like a corner, like a modern
That's
building.
Beautiful.
It was awesome. So I highly recommend that if you're looking to
and it's in the convention area, if you're here on convention.
If you're looking to come to stay, I highly recommend it. And if you're looking for a staycation, I highly recommend it as well. We were in room 2238, so the 22nd floor, and 38.
So if you're in there, just be careful of the make sure everything's still clean and everything's. You don't know what kind of freaky shit happened in there.
It was fine. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is that we had dinner at Fiorenzo's Italian Steakhouse, and I had been there, I think, just to their bar, and it's on the older side, on the Peabody side. So it kind of, when I had been there previously, it was kind of like, it looked like it had come from the 90s.
Yeah.
But when we arrived, I was like, oh wow, they've done like a full refresh, and so it's very kind of modern refresh on the place, which is very nice. And when we entered, I commented to the hostess, oh wow, this is like remodeled, and she's like, yes, this is the first night we're using this lobby area. I was like,
so it's
wow.
really new.
So it's really fresh. They're still not done. So you couldn't really tell, because sometimes they put those temporary walls up that you can't tell that they're renovating. But anyway, they were renovating what will be the bar area. So they're renovating that. And I don't know when it's slated to open, but the food was really good. I got the lamb shank. It was a huge portion, and it was really good, and the service was really, really top notch. The other thing that I wanted to say too is that they have there in the old tower area where the original Peabody was, they've updated the like quick service, what you would say, or the market area where you would get a quick snack. It's a huge, beautiful like market area, and I think it's called Market.
I wonder if they've updated the rooms in the old tower.
I'm sure they must have. Yeah. But you could tell, like, it'd been a while since I've been on that side, but I could tell they updated the carpet. But they're still in between. Some of the furniture is still, but definitely if you haven't, if you stayed there before, stay there again or go visit, because they're really doing a nice job of bringing it into 2019. But the market was huge.
Got to keep up with everything here in Orlando. Everything's if you're in the hotel industry here, you got to keep up, or you're gonna lose business.
I think that's my favorite hotel after the Ritz after Grand Lake, so the Ritz and JW. Because
really,
well, if you're just gonna stay somewhere, it has really nice views. That restaurant was really good. The spa is okay. I don't care for the Four Seasons. Because the Four Seasons to me is a copycat of Grand Lakes. If you've ever been to Four Seasons, I don't know if you have.
No.
It's like a copycat. Like they copied the same style of architecture. It's just Anyway, just go check it out. They're doing a nice job renovating, and their service was really good.
And then after the next day, well, was that? Yeah, that was your actual birthday.
We should talk about this.
We went to...
So my actual birthday, we had checked out of the hotel, and then we had dinner with, of course, Stephanie, my boyfriend, and then Devi. We met at City Walk, which I was excited to try this restaurant. I was interested because I thought it was a cool concept, and we've heard other people say good things about it, but we didn't care for it.
It wasn't what we expected.
It was definitely not what I expected.
It wasn't what we expected at all.
And that restaurant is Cowfish.
And that goes from the decor,
yes,
the vibe, and the food.
And
all 3 points.
The service was nothing was really great.
The service wasn't on point either.
I would say the service was mediocre. The food was not acceptable.
I honestly can't judge on the food because I had a kids
I think the best thing about the food was your meal, because I like the way that your meal was presented.
The presentation was cute. I ordered a grilled cheese sandwich off the kids meal.
So the grilled cheese sandwich came in like a bento box. So the grilled cheese was in one section, and there was fries, and then they had this cute little Rice Krispie with a Swedish fish
on
and
top.
it wrapped with a thin piece of
something
seaweed to make it look like sushi, which was really cute. I thought it was
for a kid. Yeah,
I thought it was a cute presentation. I got one of the burger sushi rolls. It was not good at all.
It had like a whole piece. Each piece had a pepper on it.
It had a tomato, which the tomatoes were white and not red. So, like, get a red tomato, please, because it looked gross.
Is there a such thing as a white tomato?
No, it was just not ripe and not.
Wasn't right.
It wasn't good. You know what I mean? It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then the ground beef was just like they sauteed the ground beef and tried to roll it up in a sushi roll.
It didn't. As I was watching you eat, it didn't look like it was keeping together.
It wasn't,
so that you could get all those tastes in one bite.
No. It just wasn't flavorful at all. It was so mediocre. Devi didn't really like hers.
You just said Devaney, like you just put her name and my name.
Devaney. Devi didn't like hers. And Shalom, my boyfriend, just said his was passable.
I mean, it was just mediocre at best, I thought. I think you guys like more when we go to Bento. Like, yeah. Better quality.
I like it when I go to Sushiology better across the street for...
So what did Dev had like the hillbilly...
Something
it had like the hillbilly.
It had like pulled pork and it was quote unquote sushi roll. The other thing that I was extremely disappointed with was the decor.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be in my mind, looking at the outside, I thought it was gonna be like chic and kind of dark,
dim,
and like a little bit sexy, you know, like upscale a little bit.
Even though it's called Cowfish, it's just the way that they brand everything on the outside. But inside, when you go upstairs, because it's all on the second floor, you go upstairs.
And the prices on the menu, I thought, were a little high.
Yeah.
So I expected it to be like a
more high end.
Not where you would like have a bunch of kids running around. It was kind of loud in there. The music was loud. It was like the way the restaurant was laid out made... You know, when people are talking, it kind of creates a loud environment, which is fine. I expect people to talk, but it was like the way the architecture was, like it made it really loud. Right. I don't know.
And it was just the colors were really bright, and it just seemed like almost like we were in like a extended version of Margaritaville or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Great. I give it
thumbs down for sure.
Down.
I think that they're due fine probably because everyone wants to go there coming out of the theme parks.
Trap.
You know, at dinner, I'm sure they do really well because everyone is, because Universal closes so early, especially this time of year.
I thought it was strange. I called to make us a reservation. I ended up being on hold for like 30 minutes just to finally get a hold of somebody to tell me that they do not take reservations after 6 p.m.
Right.
So I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. Wouldn't you think it would be like
starting at 6 p.m.?
Starting at 6 p.m. we take reservations, because I would think at a place like that, like the lunch hour would be more casual.
What's happening is they're literally in the traffic flow of people coming out of Islands of Adventure and Universal, honestly, because
and when we got there at 7, the park was just
pouring
out of
people coming out of the park. So I think that's why they probably just want to focus. Okay, we're just going to focus on walk-ups and not have to worry about walk-ups and reservations.
Yeah. And Mardi Gras is going on over there right now, so everyone was like, have all these beads and
which is cool. It's just the restaurant was just no, very much pass on that.
Next,
I think that though the concept of putting a burger and sushi together, you could execute that well if you took time.
If you really tried hard.
Yeah, but they're not trying. They're not trying hard. And I looked up, and there are a few other locations. There's locations, I think 2 locations in the Carolinas or something. those possibly might be better because maybe they're spending more time. Maybe they care more. I don't know. But this location, it was not even I wouldn't just not go there. Just don't go. It's not worth it. Normally we're not very negative. Generally we don't like to bring negativity, but in this situation we're telling y'all, just avoid it. I don't care what nobody else said. I'll argue it all day long. Don't go there. So while we're on the topic of restaurants, so I was in Miami. I had a work event on Tuesday morning, but we spent Monday night. So we had a restaurant experience Monday night, which I didn't pay for, but I overheard the checkout process or the end of the restaurant experience, getting the bill and everything. And then 2 restaurants on Tuesday had 2 experiences. So what they are doing in Miami from the 3 restaurant experiences that I had is they are including, no matter your party size, 18% gratuity onto the bill.
I think that's rude.
So when you get the check brought to your table, you get the gratuity included.
I don't remember that. Maybe that's a new thing. I went to Miami like 3 years ago.
I've been to Miami within the last year. I went to restaurants. This was not my experience. This is something
Did the server
new.
tell you this is citywide or?
So when my boss took care of the meal on Monday night, and I heard him say to him, service or gratuity is included, like just making sure he knew, which was nice that he verbalized that. Then the second location was we went to a vegan restaurant for lunch on Tuesday. They didn't communicate that, but it was there. And then for dinner that night, they didn't communicate it. They just gave me the bill, and I just saw that gratuity was included. So 18%.
I wonder if you could speak to the manager and have it removed if there were extenuating circumstances.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure they're just doing that a lot for like tourists who don't really understand tipping. I personally believe that tipping should go away and that they need to build the cost to pay the wages of the waiters into the food.
That's how I feel.
So if that increases the food a little bit, okay. But I
don't feel that it's nothing against people in a serving position. I know you all argue to me, it's hard work. I don't deserve to work for
then
nothing.
You should get paid
but
what
I
you
feel
deserve.
that a company should pay their employees. Just like every other company pays their employees. There's tons and tons of people who do way more work than a server does and don't get tipped. And their company pays them what they deserve to be paid.
Tipping was not a thing until what was it that we've watched the video Adam Ruins Everything.
Yeah,
I think
that's a cute little video.
And
actually,
he explains it. Go look it up on YouTube. Adam Ruins Everything tipping. Type that in, and you'll get the explanation. Tipping is not like this old tradition. It's relatively new. And it started because I believe of the Great Depression I think it was Prohibition that caused tipping to come into play. I think that's what it was. You have to go back and watch that video. But tipping, like I lived in Brazil for a year, tipping there, you get charged a 10% automatically out onto the bill. You can ask for that to be taken off, but that's all that's required of you. So 10%. Is the service fee, which I'm kind of okay with that. If you could increase the price a little bit and then do 10%,
I just don't understand
with that.
Why anyone thinks the tipping is cool. Like, think about all the businesses that you patron. Okay, you go somewhere and you pay your money for whatever service you're getting, and the money that you pay is what you get. Why should you have to then give more money for the person doing their job?
Right.
The
person that I would tip is more like the hostess, like give me a good table. Here's a 5. Give me a good table.
But it's like sometimes you go to a place where, like at Disney, for instance, some of the restaurants there, the server only brings you drinks.
Yeah, because it's
like
a buffet.
Like when you go to Mickey's, where did you just go?
We could speak about that. Mickey's, Chef Mickey's.
Chef Mickey's. Okay, you go to Chef Mickey's. They sit you at a table. The waitress or waiter comes and says, "Welcome. Thanks for coming today. We have a full bar of of pancakes and waffles and all this. Help yourself. What can I get you to drink? A coffee, an orange juice, a water. Okay, I'll be back. Go ahead and help yourself.
All they do is refill drinks, and
all they do is bring you drinks. And they are if you're on a food plan, they automatically
18%.
and 18% just to bring you a drink, and that's all that their job is. Okay, there's plenty of people in this world doing way harder work. Like the freaking trash man. Do you tip him for picking up your bag of trash every day? No, you don't. Because that's his job. To get out of the thing, pick up the trash, put it in the thing. That's your job. To get the drink, bring it to the table. That's it.
So I just wanted to bring this to y'all's attention. If you haven't experienced this...
Just don't go to Miami. It's a bad place anyway.
If you haven't experienced this, then it potentially could be coming to a city near you.
So look out, Orlando. They're coming to rape our wallets.
But I mean, honestly, I think that we would be next because Miami's a tourist town. We're a tourist town. I'll have to ask Chloe, who is up in New York right now, to see if she experienced any of this. Maybe it's a new trend that's coming to the major cities. But I just prefer to... I'm not going to tip extra now. If I'm presented with 18%, well, you're not getting 20 because sometimes I leave 20. But if you're going to force me into 18,
my hand,
I'm just going to leave 18. And I guess I would, if the service was horrible, I would ask to speak to a leader and say, listen, I'm not paying this 18%. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. So who knows? That might be coming to Orlando soon.
Boo.
But I thought it was interesting that all three restaurants had the same policy. So that means that all the restaurants got together or something in the last, I don't know, it's been 6 months since I've been to Miami. They all got together in the last 6 months and said, we want
more money.
We're doing this. So.
And then on top of it, it's so hard to find parking in Miami. I remember that when I was there. It's hard. Like a lot of the restaurants... They have, you have to go find some place to park, and it costs money. And
Googled parking garage, and so one of the goals was to go to South Beach, and so I just Googled a parking garage, and I just set my GPS to it, and it was only $3 an hour.
Oh, that's not bad.
And it was a decent parking garage, a decent location, and there was spots, but it was also a weekday.
Yeah,
so in the middle of a weekday, so. Just look for those. Look for Google. Put on your Google Maps a parking garage and just go straight to the parking garage. That way you have less like, okay, I'm gonna just drive around trying to find something. But the last few times I've been is just find a parking garage instead of street parking. So anyway, Epcot is the next topic, which I'm excited about. I've been waiting for this. Epcot is going to remove, what's it called?
I forget.
The Legacy, is it Legacy?
Legacy, something Legacy.
Anyway, it was these things.
From the year 2000.
It was these things where you purchase the opportunity to have your picture taken, and then they engrave it on this metal sheet, and they post it up in front of the park on these big granite or stone.
My face is on there somewhere. So everyone go look. It's like, where's Waldo? I don't even know where it is anymore.
I'm sure they still have someone to tell you where you can find it. But anyway.
It's like a little mug shot. It's like this, literally the stamp of the size of a postage
stamp. As you
stamp.
enter Epcot, these big stone things with these pictures, little miniature pictures of people's faces on them are there like tombstones. As you enter Epcot, they're removing those, thankfully, and they're going to make it more look like a lush park, I would say.
Yeah, it looks nice on the renderings they posted online.
So I've been knowing about this for a few years because when I worked at Disney and Guest Experience Service, I got a complaint letter from a guest who couldn't find their freaking picture because his tile was removed for renovation or something. And so I had to call the area to investigate. And they said to me in a conversation I had with them at that time, probably about 5 years ago, that they wanted to remove these things and get them out of the way.
They're not very aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
And now that they've been up for almost 20 years now, the sun has kind of
faded
a lot of the tiles. And really, they're some of them are illegible. You can't even really see them that well. They look terrible.
So they're not going to knock it down and like totally remove it. They are just moving it to a different location because per the contract, the pictures have to be up.
I'm shocked they would have written written something for so long.
Yeah,
that they would have, committed to such a long time frame.
Interestingly enough, those bricks in front of Magic Kingdom,
mm-hmm.
they've done the same thing with those. So if a brick breaks and it's no longer in contract,
I think they just replace it with a blank one.
It's replaced with a blank brick because the contract is expired, and they just replace it with a blank one. They don't regenerate or make a new one with your name on it.
That was a freaking genius idea, though.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That was a good idea because it looks good and it looks normal, and you might as well just. How can you look me? How can I pave a sidewalk for free? We'll get some idiot to buy every single stone and pave the whole damn thing for free.
Those were expensive.
They were expensive. I remember wanting one, but we never got one.
They did them at Disneyland too, I believe.
I think they do have them there, yeah.
So, those are under contract too. But this, I'm not even really that interested to know where they move them, just as long as they get them out of my way.
What are they doing to you?
They're ugly.
Are they personally victimizing you?
They're ugly. So that's exciting that Epcot's getting rid of those and making it lush and more pleasing to the eye.
So go online and check out those.
And then they're making this new like interactive. They're replacing the Life
Pavilion.
The Life. What is it?
It's the place where they always have the festival center.
Used to be
I think
the
it's the
Odyssey.
Center. No, I don't think it's the
not
Odyssey Center. It's
Wonders of Life.
Wonders of Life.
So Wonders of Life is going to be kind of like,
to me it looks like a scene from Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Yeah, which I didn't see
like
that.
when they finally get into the internet and you see like all the companies and like all the like the buildings and stuff. To me that's what I think
it looks like a lot of projection will be used. It just looks fun, and I'm glad they're renovating Wonders of Life.
Because that building has just been sitting there. Disney has so many areas in the park that just sit.
Especially Epcot.
Epcot
has a lot of, you don't know, but Epcot has a lot of VIP like suite or lounge areas. They have one in Spaceship Earth.
There's one in the Living Seas.
Yes.
There's one in the America Pavilion.
Yes.
They used to make it into the Visa Chase card member lounge during Food and Wine. They didn't do that last year.
There used to be one in Norway. I don't know if there is after the whole renovation of the Norway Pavilion, but there used to be one in Norway. There's several throughout.
And then this pavilion, the Wonders of Life, that sits empty.
And it has
the
lounge
Odyssey
as well.
building sits empty a good percentage of the year.
Yes.
And then that place that used to be Millennial Village over by Canada.
Yes.
It's like I don't know what they do now, conferences and stuff.
But it's used a lot. That one is used a lot for big conferences.
In 2000, that one was called Millennium Village, and you could go in there and they had all people represented from all countries and so on and so forth. But then after the celebration was over, they closed that for regular guests. Yes. And then they do conventions, special events, stuff.
Quinceañeras happen there. So, but I think Epcot, it seems like the whole thing is going to be renovated over the next 5 to 10 years, that we're really going to see a transformation of Epcot, which is good. Ratatouille's coming to France. Gardens of the Galaxy is coming to what was the Ellen Energy Universe of Energy attraction. So there's lots of cool things that are happening to really rejuvenate Epcot. It's definitely like a new era of Walt Disney World, I think, especially just with new transportation options. With the Skyway thing, they've been testing it. Have you seen pictures of that?
No.
Yeah, they've been testing the Skyway that connects, Caribbean Beach, Pop, and Art of Animation to Epcot and the studios.
Cool.
They've been actually testing the ride vehicles. And that's not really a ride. It's a form of transportation that supposedly doesn't have air conditioning.
I don't know if I believe that.
I can't believe that.
There's no way. People would freaking pass out if they were enclosed in a little bitty
in the middle of July.
Thing in the middle of July. Imagine if the ride broke down.
There has to be air conditioning. But the things that I've heard that there's not, but it must be a rumor. But anyway, lots of things are happening at Disney. I think it's a good time.
Yes, it's a good time to have an annual pass.
So I have read a little bit about Star Wars. I also spoke to somebody who's been on a walkthrough of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which of course is still in construction, but they said it's amazing. And then people have also done walkthroughs of Galaxy's Edge in California, which opens before ours here in Walt Disney World. And they just say it's amazing. So
I forgot they were building one out there as well.
Yeah. So the reports are that it's amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be great for the studios, which has really been in a rut for the past, well, since it opened.
I've just really never been a fan of that park.
I like some aspects of the park.
I like that it's small.
I like the streetmosphere.
Yeah.
Like that they have the actors on, doing
and
the streetmosphere.
I like their Christmas decorations a lot.
They are great. And I like studios to a point, but honestly, it's a poorly planned park, and hopefully they're making some real improvements to it. But anyway, so that is kind of Epcot / Walt Disney World updates. Exciting things happening. So also exciting is Garden Theatre is going to premiere, or has premiered really once this is aired, 1984, which so I spoke to Mary because I needed to get an extra ticket for us for Shalom. So I called the box office today, and Mary's like, so are you excited about it? And I was like, we're not really sure yet.
You said that to her?
Yes. But Mary, I've talked to Mary before. Mary at the box office is great. And she's like, yeah, but she's like, but ticket sales have been really good. They've been picking up. So that's awesome. So I am like going in with an open mind. I've never read the book 1984.
I never read the book, never heard about the book. And then so today I Googled the Cliff Notes for the book. And it says, the main character is wrestles with oppression. Let's see, in a place where the party scrutinizes human actions with ever-watchful Big Brother. Defying a ban of individuality, Winston dares to express his thoughts in a diary and pursues a relationship with Julia. So, just the fact that there's a little relationship gives me hope that I might have a little bit of interest. Anytime there's a relationship, a love interest aspect to a story, I'm there for it. So... we'll see. So
I have we're going to obviously, once we're recording this before we see it, and then in this episode, we're going to slice in kind of our reaction to it after we see it, the complete thing tomorrow night. So I'm going in up with open mind, but I have read articles, and I think even when we spoke with Garden Theatre before about this season, people have passed out during this show.
From what?
I guess there's they use a lot of strobe lights. It's really impactful on the audience. There's torture in the show as well. People get tortured. So there has been very strong reactions. When it opened, I believe it was
fainting, vomiting, and getting arrested.
I don't know if it was Broadway or the Los Angeles production, but there's this report on the Hollywood Reporter from 2017 that audience were fainting, vomiting, and getting arrested from Broadway's 1984.
I don't think any of that's going to be going on at the Garden Theatre.
I can't see that, but what if we pass out?
Well, make sure you get a picture for the gram.
For the gram. So anyway, we are definitely going to go in with open mind. You're going to hear our kind of review of it, or not review, but impression of it right now. What I want you guys to do, or what we want you guys to go do, is go ahead and go and support Garden Theatre and go to gardentheatre.org. Purchase your tickets for 1984.
So that you can faint, vomit, and get arrested.
But I think it's going to be like a ride, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be fun, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to expand our minds and maybe think differently about things after we see 1984. Okay, so we just finished watching 1984. It was not necessarily our cup of tea, the story, because we didn't really understand it, because we've never had to
I did not understand it. I did not understand nothing of it, like not one little bit of it.
Well, it's about like government watching you, and you know.
I guess it's one of those things where there's a much deeper meaning to it, and
I didn't have to read the book. Some people have to read the book in high school.
No, I didn't have to read the book either.
But beyond the story, so the story obviously, it was not necessarily our cup of tea.
No.
But beyond the story, the technical side of it was very good.
The actors were impeccable. They were very good.
The actors were good, especially Brian Zealand, which there is a quite lengthy torture scene in the end, and he was really...
It wasn't as graphic as I ever wanted.
Because we read, we read a report that people like fainted and
vomited. Got arrested.
But maybe in other productions they make it,
I don't know,
worse. But Brian Zealand did a good job in the torture scene.
Everyone did a good job.
He committed. Yeah, everyone was really committed to their roles. And technically, you know, the light guys, they had to be on point.
There was a lot going on.
And the AV guys, because there was video visuals and just the sound effects. There was always like noise happening.
Even, I was thinking in that last scene there, when they were kind of like, when they had him in the chair and they were interrogating him, there was kind of like a buzz noise, like a...
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of gave me the feel of like a horror movie, like...
This one, like, your senses were always played with the whole time.
And now that we've seen, this is the third production we've seen, it's interesting to see how they, transform the theater and, do, like... manipulate it to the lighting and the the decorations and the scenes. What do they call that?
Yeah,
it all looks nice.
Yeah, well, definitely go out, especially if you read the book and you're a fan of the book. Go check out 1984. It runs March 1st through March 17th, and we look forward to the next production, which will be
Billy Elliot the musical,
and that is going to be taking place April-May. So thanks again, Garden Theatre, for putting on great productions, and thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, guys, so much for joining us for episode 32 of Orlando Out of Context. Make sure that you go and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and we've added Stitcher. We're now on Stitcher, so if you like Stitcher and you're used to using that platform, we're now on Stitcher as well. Make sure
to serve all your needs.
Exactly. I think we're on now. Now with Stitcher, we're pretty much I don't know what
everywhere.
else.
There's nowhere else you can.
I don't know where else to join.
Just want to consume us and can't.
Because we're even on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're even on the tube, and we're on Facebook. You can listen to us on Facebook because I have all the episodes uploaded to Facebook, the Facebook page.
Anywhere your heart desires.
So if there's some place that we're not, I guess you could just tell us because I don't know any other place. Anyway. And Pornhub. You're horrible. And then
we're not going to be there.
Go ahead and visit us at orlandooutofcontext.com. And make sure you leave us a review, too. We have 24 ratings on iTunes, which I think is great. And we have 5-star rating on iTunes.
5 stars.
And I showed Stephanie tonight, we have over 2,500 quote unquote downloads of the show since day one.
Since May.
Yeah, since the end of May of last year. So we don't spend tons of money on advertising. We do a lot of it through Instagram and word of mouth. And
I think we've done 2 sponsored posts and 1 giveaway. That's it. That's the only money we've spent.
So thank you guys so much for finding. We hear more and more of people finding us and discovering us and being like, oh, wow, I wish I would have known this existed. And now they know it exists. So tell your friends.
Tell your enemies.
Tell everyone. But until next time, bye. Last episode we talked about pizza, so you got excited probably.
I was
Pizza
happy for
Ponte.
Pizza Ponte.